because you are your universe. You are the operant power, which means you are the creator of your reality.
I'll be your light.
Hi lovelies, and welcome back to the Zhené community. My name's Leah.
My name's Tia.
We are the Zhené sisters, and on this channel we talk everything mindset and manifestation.
We are helping you rise and reach your truest potential by simplifying manifestation. And in this video, we're going to do a full breakdown of manifestation for beginners. So stay tuned.
So what is manifestation? So simply put, it's your thoughts that create your reality. So everything you experience in your reality is basically a byproduct of what you've been dominantly thinking and assuming. So if you're experiencing anything in your life that you don't like currently, it's all based on your past dominant thinking. So then how do we start to change this? So we can start to change our reality by changing our thinking, because everything in our reality is basically a reflection of what we've been dominantly thinking and what we've been dominantly assuming. Because with manifestation, we are manifesting 24/7. It's not something you can turn off. It's something you've always been doing, consciously doing, since your subconscious was formed around seven years of age. When that's formed around 7, you then have a set of beliefs that you will go within your life, and you will live from that belief system.
Yeah, so essentially, like, your belief system is the lens that you're looking out through life on. So you will perceive certain things through the lens that your belief system has created. So your perception, your beliefs, your assumptions, everything is essentially the program that, like, think of your mind and your subconscious as a computer program. Like, you are operating from that computer program, and that is essentially your life today. But the really important thing with manifestation and why it's so powerful is we get to update the program. We get to change our perception, change our story, change the lens in which we're looking at life through.
Yeah, so everything in your reality is caused by you. So if you are the cause of everything in your reality, especially if it's something unfavourable, then we look at that and see it for what it is. It's just old creation playing out. So if that old creation is playing out, we get to now be the solution, because we are the cause, and the effect of that is happening in our 3D reality. And our 3D is what we can see in our current reality with our 5 senses. What we experience with our 5 senses, that's what our 3D is. So when we're creating, we're doing it internally with our mind, which is our 4D, which is our imagination, which is like I said, our mind, and then it's being outpictured and reflected back to us in our 3D.
Yeah. So your inner state, your inner world creates your outer reality. Everything, like we always say in every single video, you'll notice that we always say no one's changed but itself, because literally your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. And then we're going to move on to talk about self-concept. And why self-concept is so important is because your self-concept is essentially your self-identity. It's how you think, feel and believe about yourself, but also how you think others think, feel and believe about yourself. So you can have your self-concept in different areas of your life: money, relationships, career, but also, like, you'll have different self-concepts with different people. Like, you'll shift into different versions of how you are identifying with certain people. And why that's so important is because your self-concept is what literally aligns and creates your reality. Your thoughts is what is creating your reality. So what you think, feel and believe about yourself is essentially creating how you show up in the world. And your self-concept, like Leah said, is formed from your early childhood years, and it's your program. So, like, say as an example, if you had a situation when you was younger where your caregivers were always working, you might have a program within your self-concept that says I'm not chosen. So then you'll go out into the world with that self-concept and create situations from that lens of I'm not chosen, whether it's in relationships, not in your career, not being picked for the promotion. Like, it can show up in so many different ways. But usually the key is that this is subconscious. We don't know that that's what we believe to be true. With this work in manifestation, it's so important to decide who you get to be. So you're essentially changing the program of your self-concept, so then you can create something different for yourself.
Yeah, and the beauty about this work, like I said, everyone is reflecting back to you your self-concept and the situations you have in your life, which is great feedback.
Yeah.
So this is a great thing to show you where your self-concept is, or where your self-concept has been. So how do we start to change our self-concept? So a good way to change our self-concept is really get clear on what was modelled for us, what triggers us, and what's currently showing up in our reality, what is being reflected back to us. So for example, I don't ever have enough money. So you're in your reality currently, you've never got enough money. So that would show you that you've probably been modelled in your childhood that money was hard to come by, or you had to work hard for money, or something around money that was stemmed for you. So in your adult life, you would then look at money as hard to come by, not having enough of money and things like that. So you want to look at what was modelled for you, what triggers you about money, and then you want to write the opposite of that. Like, money is always easy for me to come by. Money is always around me. I always have more than enough money. Your spending habits with money. How do you feel about when you're spending money and interacting with money? And we've got other videos on this as well.
Yeah.
But just a little snippet here. And then with relationships, so if you get into relationships, you've noticed patterns in your relationship where you fear someone's going to leave you. You might have had a caregiver or a parent figure leave your reality when you was little, or they chose something over you when you were little, or they wasn't around very much, so you felt like people in your life don't stay around. So you look at what was modelled for you, and then you look at your relationship. So if you have partners that are leaving you, or you're fearing partners are going to leave, or what's going on in your current reality at the moment where you're fearing like you'll get into relationships and then they don't last, so then you want to write the opposite of that. Love always lasts for me, relationships always work out for me, the ones that I love always stay in my life. So it's kind of looking at what was modelled, what you're currently experiencing, what's being reflected back to you in your 3D reality, things that trigger you, and writing the complete opposite of that. That is your core stuff there. Do you know what I mean? That's the core stuff now you want to work on. That's going to become your set of affirmations. So a little bit with affirmations are just new thoughts. They are thoughts directed in your favour. They're new thoughts that you're using to rewiring a new self-concept with these affirmations. They're just thoughts that you're thinking anyway, but now you're using affirmations to direct your thoughts in your favour of what you want to experience. So you can write out your affirmations, you can record your affirmations and listen to these in your sleep cycle. But really the most important thing with all of this work when you're programming your subconscious mind is where your thoughts are going throughout your day as well, and you want to have awareness to notice where those thoughts are going, recognize the thought, see if what it is it's just old programming, and then come in with the new affirmation. And then we keep persisting in that, and then 3D must conform to our new self-concept. So just a snippet of that there.
And obviously throughout this video we're just touching on like the beginner's level of this. We have other videos on our channel that go into self-concept and all these things specifically if you want to dive in, but everything that Leah said is just so powerful. But in the sense of like when I'm explaining it to my clients about self-concept and why it's so important, is because with manifestation, linking this back, you don't get what you want, you get who you are. So when you hear in the manifestation space you need to embody and align to the version of you that has this thing, that's what self-concept is. You're reprogramming your set of data, changing your thoughts, changing your story, which is creating your reality to a version of you that now has these things. So then it has no choice but to mirror back in your reality, because you change you first. That's what self-concept is, and then that self-concept conforms out in the outer 3D reality. So I think that's self-concept in a nutshell. So next we're gonna talk about where to start in manifestation. So you understand what is manifestation, you understand why self-concept is so important in regards to manifestation, but now you're like, where do I start? So I think the key here is getting clear on what it is you want to manifest, because in order to have what you want, you need to be clear on that, and then you're going to work backwards and understand that when you're getting clear on your desire, why do I feel and why have I currently not got this desire? So if I use money for an example, I know that I want to manifest a 6-figure business. So for me, it's understanding, when I was doing this work, what are all my blocks in regards to having this manifestation? What was I modelled growing up? Why do I feel like I can't have it? What do I believe about money? What do I think when I spend money? And this is literally my program and all my blocks of why I don't have that. Because right now, I don't identify with that. But when I started, I had to get clear on why I didn't think I could have the money. Because I was identifying with someone and operating from a program of, I will never have that, it's not mine. So by understanding what you want, you can work backwards and basically reprogram yourself, your self-concept, and embody the version, start changing the story to get this thing that you want.
Yes, which is a beautiful way to do it. So like I said, once you've identified what it is you want, then you can do the self-concept work that is going to align you to the version of you that has what you want, and then you can sustain it, which is a beautiful way to look at it. And also getting clear on the fact that you're worthy of it, you're deserving, and you're good enough to have it. So they're like the key foundational things there, and allowing yourself permission to have the things you want, knowing it's your birthright, and feeling safe to receive it. So we also want to be simultaneously hitting that in our self-concept to know like these things that we want as our birthright. And that's what the self-concept work is. Once you've got clear on what your desires are, what the blocks are, like Tia said, we do the self-concept that matches those, the version of us that now is this 6-figure business owner, or in the beautiful relationship, wonderful health, whatever it is, whatever area you want to work on, which is beautiful. And then we go on to living in the end. So what is living in the end? Living in the end essentially is you having your desire. So say you want to be blissfully happily married. So then you would live in the end of you being blissfully happily married, whether it's with a specific person or whether it's with a new person. So what version of you is blissfully happily married? So if currently you're resonating with a version of you that feels single, that doesn't feel chosen, doesn't feel committed to, doesn't feel worthy of the relationship, you're identifying with a version of you that doesn't have the relationship you want. So that's where the self-concept work comes in again as well. Like we said, you look at your relationships, you look at your patterns, you look at what's been modelled for you, and then you align yourself to a self-concept that says, I am happily blissfully married, relationships do work out for me, I'm beautifully coupled in a relationship with my person, this relationship is the best relationship of my life, I'm partnered, I'm coupled, I'm in this relationship, how does it feel to be in this relationship? And then you also want to look at like, who am I in this relationship? How do I feel? How do I act? How do I behave? And how do I think? And so that's going to be modeled, like you're a different version of you in a relationship to you are single. So that's what it truly means. You've got the end goal. You've got your end goal of being happily blissfully married, and then you're doing your self-concept work that's aligning you to the version of you that already has what they want. Some people can go straight to the end and just be happily blissfully married, but then other people, if they've got outdated data and the self-concept that says I'm single, I don't get what I want, that's where we come in with the self-concept work. If you can't be a person that could just live in the end of being happily blissfully married, you're doing the self-concept work that's obviously aligning you to the version of you that is happily blissfully married. And then how that comes about will come about in the middle, and we don't have to worry about in the middle. And what the middle is just all the events and situations that unfold that lead you to your desire. So your end goal is happily blissfully married, that's what you're focused on. You're aligning yourself every single day to the version of you that has what they want, and you're doing this with your affirmations, your self-concept, and then you might be supplementing with other tools like scripting, visualization, inner conversation, this kind of stuff, which we have other videos about as well.
So when you're on this manifestation journey, we've broke down what it is, your self-concept, where to start, how to program yourself into the version of you and live in the end, that your desire is your promise. But it's also knowing things along this journey that are going to help you predominantly live from the self-concept of your desire. So here are just some things that we think is really important to remember. And you will notice a pattern of us always saying this. And one of them things is circumstances don't matter, because what is really important to know during your manifestation process, you have your desire, you have your end goal, you're going to keep wanting to predominantly connect with the version of you that's living in the end, like Leah said. But what circumstances don't matter is essentially your current 3D experience right now is just your old thoughts. So when you are seeing maybe something in your current experience that you don't like, it's really important to remember that this is just old thoughts. This is just your old creation. So when you're being triggered by your current experiences, it's up to you as the conscious creator and when you're manifesting your life to remind yourself that I'm still getting what I want. This current 3D experience, although I can't see what is happening to get me to my manifestation, I've got to give it good meaning, and I've not got to let the 3D experience trigger me right now.
Yes, exactly. So like Tia said, your circumstances are just old creation, and if say you start doing this work, you start working on your self-concept and something unfavourable manifests and you're like, hold up, wait there, I've been doing the self-concept work and now I've manifested something in unfavourable, but just recognise it for what it is. Like Tia said, it's just old creation. So sometimes those old thoughts are still playing out until the new ones start playing out. So it's really just not getting so attached to the 3D, because the 3D is very malleable, which it's very changeable, and it can change in an instant, or sometimes there is a bit of lag time, but we don't want to manifest in a belief that there's lag time, we must go through this massive healing journey, or there's a huge gestation period before we can have the things that we want. But the key thing to being a conscious creator is seeing reality for what it is. Now you're awakened to conscious manifestation, you get to always direct your thoughts and your state in a mindset of you that's like, okay, I see 3D for what it is, I'm not going to get attached to it, I'm not going to allow it to keep bumping me up and allowing me to stop me from living in my end, because I know this is going to change. And you will have days where sometimes you're feeling low, sometimes you're feeling high, you might have down days, high days. It's very normal on this journey. It's okay. It's okay to have down days. Do you know what I mean? It's okay to have negative thoughts. Like, we're in this human experience. Having negative thoughts is very natural. But it's you just having awareness of when those negative thoughts come up, seeing it as for what they are. It's just old programming. We have other videos for this as well, but I just want to give a snippet on why circumstances don't matter. And also with manifestation, we don't worry about how something comes or when it's coming. We're letting go of that time. We've done a video about time if you want to watch that, and why the how and the when doesn't matter. Because if you're truly living in the end and you know what you want is yours, it's always going to come to you, because as soon as you have a desire for something, creation is already finished. There's already a version and a reality of you that is experiencing this reality. You are now just aligning yourself and your self-concept to the version of you that's experiencing that reality of you having it all, the blissful relationship, the money, whatever it is. Like, creation's already finished. So what you desire already desires you, because you wouldn't have a desire for something if you couldn't manifest it. That comes from your higher self. It's letting you know that this is your true life that you're meant to be living. And now, like, we just do the work, which means work on our self-concept and embody the state of us that is already living this way, and it becomes our reality.
Exactly. And another thing to remember is you're always manifesting. So you will see a lot maybe of people saying be scared of your negative thoughts, don't think negative, but it's really important to know that you knowing that you are always manifesting is an empowering piece of information. It's not to make you scared of your thoughts, because one thing that you also need to know is that it's your predominant thought and your states that is creating your reality. Your current experience is based upon old thoughts, but your dominant thinking. So with that information, it's also important to know that it's also not something you can switch off, but it's also something not to fear. So it's finding that middle ground for you to know that I'm always manifesting, I'm the conscious creator of my reality. If I have something unfavourable, I can change it and I can create something different for myself. As a conscious creator, I always say, like, it's you awakening yourself to your own power, because you are the operate power. What you say goes, and this is your movie. So you are essentially creating a life that you want through the power of your mind.
Now that you're awakened to this stuff, you really get to take your power back. And I know for myself and Tia, when we stepped into our journey, we came through the law of attraction. So I don't know if you're coming from the law of attraction, you just discovered the law of assumption. So, but a lot of our method that we teach on here is through the law of assumption, because it is really your beliefs and your assumptions that are creating your reality and the lens that you look through life with. So we just want to give you a few resources that you can maybe look at if you don't have these already. So some books and things that you could really start to get to grips with to understand this work even more so. So Neville Goddard, his complete reader, which is absolutely amazing. We can link link down below for his complete reader. You've also got Joseph Murphy, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, and then you've also got cybernetics as well. Law of assumption, I think, it's completely changed my life. It's like, for me, it's the law of belief. So we know that our beliefs create our reality and our assumptions create our reality. So once you change your assumptions and your beliefs, your reality must change, and you change in the process, become the best version of you. And it's just absolutely amazing. So definitely Neville Goddard really explains the key principles of the law of assumption in more detail. Yeah. And then you've also got the books that we said there. It's a great starting point for you to really get to grips with the law of assumption and the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is where our beliefs are stored. So once we can change that subconscious programming, we know that we can change our reality. And then also, I want to just draw on another point I just thought of. You are your universe.
Oh yeah.
Nothing is outside of you. Nothing's bringing you anything. It's all coming from your inner reality. It's all coming from your higher self, your subconscious mind. So when we talk about, oh, the universe is doing this, or it's the universe that is bringing me my desires, you are your universe. You are the operant power, which means you are the creator of your reality. Your desires come from your higher self. Like I said, nothing is outside of you. You are your universe. So don't think that anything is happening outside of you. It's all created through you, from you, and by you.
So with that being said, now that leads us on to tools, and you'll see in the manifestation space, tools are very popular, especially on TikTok. You'll see people doing so many different techniques to try and manifest their desire. But before I go into different examples of tools, I really want you to know that it's not the tool that is manifesting. You are your universe, you are the operate power. The thing with the tool is there's no best tool, it's what works best for you. So by you doing a tool, it's you getting into the state, the version of you that is connecting to your desire, and you're just focusing your mind and living in the end and getting into the state of your wish fulfilled, predominantly connecting with the version of yourself that is living and from that manifestation. So there's no best tool, it's just try different ones, see what works for you, and you can do different things like visualization, scripting, rampages, and affirmations, which are just new thoughts. So it's really understanding how you are going to connect with your manifestation and get yourself in the state of the wish fulfilled, as Neville Goddard likes to say.
Yeah, so I want to keep saying the state of us is our thoughts, our perceptions, our beliefs, our feelings. That's all of our internal state, basically. It's all connected. So our state is what creates, and it's our predominant thoughts that create our reality. So every time you hear someone say a state, they mean like the whole embodiment of you, basically.
Your inner world.
Your inner world, yes, is what's creating your reality and being pushed out. So yeah, there's just some tools and resources there as well. And I think I want to just draw one thing. Affirmations are not a tool.
No.
Affirmations are what you're thinking anyway. Every single day, whether you've been conscious to it or not, like everything you say is a stream of affirmations. But now with affirmations, like I said before, we're now just directing our thoughts with the thoughts that we want to think now on purpose.
Because you'll hear coaches say use affirmations.
Yes.
And they're tailoring it as a tool, even though it's not a tool, it's just to help you understand that that's what you can use. Touched upon a lot in this video. We hope it really helps you get into your manifestation journey and learn how to rise and reach your truest potential. So if you have any more questions, guys, about what we spoke about in this video, don't hesitate to drop it in the comment box below. If you did want to work with a manifestation mindset coach like myself and Leah, all the links are in the description box below. And we really hope you like this video. Like, share and comment, as it helps us grow the Zhené community, and we'll see you in the next video.
I'll be your light.